to episode 21. Today is Tuesday, I think it's the 21st of September, and I've already recorded this episode earlier, yesterday, and unfortunately the whole footage was blurry. So here I am today again, very early in the morning. I think it is 7 o'clock now, and I thought I'd film this episode again so I can try to have it uploaded today in the evening if everything goes well, fingers crossed. Yeah. The last weeks have been quite busy, and that's the reason why I wasn't back earlier, but I'm really happy that I have so many things to show you. And yeah, before I start chatting about the knitting, just to give you like a little insight what happened during the last 3 weeks. My partner and I, we went back to Germany for only a weekend to visit my family there. There was like a big family event going on, and a lot of family members from abroad came. So yeah, that was really nice. I saw a few family members that I haven't seen for ages, like I'm not talking like a couple of years. I think one of my aunties I didn't see for maybe 7 or 8 years. So that was, I mean, these moments are totally worth the long trip. And normally, well, I like to fly, but sometimes I preferred going by car. So this time we decided to make a road trip out of it and just really enjoy the journey as well. So we drove to a port here close by, jumped on a ferry, and it was quite a long ferry, so we took a bit of a longer route, but we decided to just relax on the ferry and have like a good time. And then yeah, and then we drove through France, Belgium and Netherlands and to Germany. And that meant I had a lot of knitting time. Because my partner usually does the driving, I only did like the last couple of hours. And so I had loads of time to knit, which was really great, because besides of this trip, well, during the trip, I didn't have much knitting time, to be honest. But I still got a few finished objects to show you later on. Ah, yes, and what I wanted to tell you. So my brother's got 2 Jacob sheep, and he asked me to do something with the wool he's got from the sheep. So he shared them in May, I believe, and he asked me to process the wool or do something with it if I could come up with something. So obviously I would love to knit with the wool, but I'm not a spinner, and I think it is too hard to learn spinning at the moment for me, just because we literally have no space in our apartment where we live at the moment. There's no space for spinning wheels, so I can't really get a spinning wheel, and it's really hard to also go somewhere here. And at the moment I tried to find like a spinning group, a local spinning group, but I think they still don't meet up yet. So I asked a mill in Germany if they could process the wool, and they said they would, but it would take around a year. So I'm thinking of doing that, but if you have a good idea where I could send it to have it processed and spun up, it could be either in Germany or somewhere in Europe, or in England. That would be okay as well. Also UK, that would be good as well. So I could bring the wool next time I go by car. Yeah, maybe you have got a good idea. You sometimes have amazing tips. So yeah, and then besides of that, yeah, I've been working, I've been flying quite a bit, which is good, and we spent some time on the beach. We went fishing the other night. The mackerels were in, which was really great as well. So yeah, that's been our last weeks. In between I had to self-isolate a few days because I was in contact with somebody, and at the time the rules were still different, so I had to stay in for, I think by the time they contacted me, it were only like 4 days or so, so it wasn't too bad. And that also meant that I had a lot of time to like catch up on stuff that I needed to do. Yeah, so yes, these were the last 3 weeks. Busy, super busy, and I'm even happier now that I can actually come here and chat to you. So let's start to talk about the knitting stuff. Just a quick note for everybody who's wondering who won the knit-along prizes. I will announce the winners towards the end of the episode, so yeah, make sure to watch that if you want to know who won the prizes. So grab a nice hot drink or whatever you would like. I'm having a coffee today, so this is my first cup of coffee today. I didn't have any normal coffee grounds, so I went for like a salted caramel one, which is a bit much at the moment, well, that early in the morning, but never mind. And yeah, the only other thing that I have to mention, I think the light will constantly change, so the sun is just rising behind the camera and will sort of swing around, so I hope it is okay for you. So the first finished object that you can already see, well, you can see them all, but this one is the one that I'm wearing. So this is the Poisoned Apple Top by Lily Kate France. So she's a very, well, I really like her. She's a really amazing designer. And this is the second version that I've knit from, the second top, Poisoned Apple Top. The first one that I knit I gave to my sister in April. That was like a yellow mustardy one. I'll link you a video somewhere here where I talked about that one. And I loved it so much that I thought, oh, I really want to have my own. And then I went on the website where I bought the yarn for the first top, and I decided to make the same, the top out of the same yarn because I really loved that yarn. So I went again for the Eden Cottage yarns, Milburn DK, which is like a blend, 85% blue face Leicester and then 15% silk. It gives it like a really nice sheet, like shiny look. But the stitch, and then the stitch definition is really amazing as well. So the stitches are super clear, and whilst I was knitting it this time, I was actually almost a bit like worried because the stitches didn't look that even initially. But then as soon as I blocked it, literally the second I've put it into the water, the yarn sort of relaxed and like sort of came like perfectly in place, and you could see every stitch was like really, you get nicely sort of symmetric. So I'm really happy with the result. The white yarn for the sheer panel is a mohair, so it's a Ito Sensai in the colorway 330 white, and you only need like a tiny little bit for that part. I think it was like 2 or 3 grams when I weighed my skein, my ball, so not much. And from the Milburn DK I used a bit more than 4.5 skeins, and they're 50 grams I believe. So yeah, really just a little quantity of yarn, and it's an amazing top. So it's got these a bit like, they're not dramatic, the sleeves, but they've just got a little bit of more volume on top. There's like a pleat on the sleeve, which is a really nice detail. It's a tubular cast on all the ribbings. And then I went for the option with the bust darts, just to give it like a bit more fabric so it doesn't go too crop. And I really like these border decreases as well, so it's worked top down. And yeah, Lily is a really, like, her designs are always quite detailed but on the point really. She's got good tips on how to transfer from one yarn to the other, which I did as well. So if you're gonna knit this pattern, I can recommend doing this extra step that she explained how to do, how to go from the lace weight into the DK weight yarn. One thing that I came up with myself is when you pick up the yarn for the sleeves, basically you pick it up from the mohair panel, and it was really, when I did it on my sleeves, it was a bit uneven. So what I did, I actually knit the first round through the back loop, and that like made it like really clear line, and I really like that one. So I think I'm gonna always do that if I knit between, well, if I have like a sheer panel with mohair and then a heavier weight yarn, because the stitches sometimes tend to twist, or like don't like that, they're not like perfectly placed just because the yarn weight is so different. So yeah, that's a little tip from my side. But yeah, I last time I knit the size 3, and then I saw some other testers knit this pattern a bit more fitted, and I really wanted to like achieve that. So I went down one size, so I knit size 2, this is size 2, and then what I also did is I also went down a needle size, so I knit that one with I think 3.75 needles. Yeah, and overall I'm really happy. I love the look of it. It's got a really nice detail in the back. I'll try to insert a picture of the back as well. I found a really nice button, like a vintage pearl button. And yeah, if you are looking for a really classic top that you can wear, I mean, you could wear that in the office, right? So I'm wearing just like a, I'm gonna try to stand back so you can see it. So I'm just wearing like a culotte, but you could also wear that with the jeans, obviously, if you want to dress it down a bit. And I could imagine going to the office like that, right? For me, this looks store-bought. You wouldn't say, oh, that looks a bit like wonky or so. If you know what I mean. That's all about the poisoned apple top. I know that Lily is bringing out I think an autumn or winter collection. I'm not too sure actually, but this is happening, I think, this at the end of this week. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look if I'll get that, because her designs are really beautiful and classic. And I actually have got a few of her designs that I still want to knit in my library, so you probably will see a few more of her designs. The next finished object that I've got is a pattern that I got gifted by Anna from the Bluebird box. She's also one of the, so Lily also, she's one of the sponsors of the knit along, and then Anna as well, she's also a sponsor of the knit along that I just recently hosted. And she gave me the pattern for the Kenosee tank, which was a tank that she published a couple of months ago, and she just gifted me the pattern. Like I didn't ask for it or anything. I would have bought the pattern whenever I would have been ready to start knitting it, but she gifted it to me, and I thought, well, I'm gonna honor that, and I got the yarn. So she recommends the Holst Coast yarn for that, which is like a what is it? It's 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton. It's like a light fingering weight yarn. And so I knit this one up. So this happened between these 2 episodes. Last episode, I think, I'm not even sure if I had the yarn. No, I didn't have the yarn yet. And yeah, here it is. It is finished. I'm really happy with the result. I think it looks lovely, and I'm looking forward to wearing that. Probably not, I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of it this year. Let's be honest, the summer here is, in England, is almost over. It was never really here, and yeah, it's slowly getting a bit colder now, so I don't know if I might be able to wear it under like a cardigan or so. The top is knit top down. Once you're sort of here, you join it around, and then it's knit in the round. You knit it on this side where the reverse stockinette is, so there's a lot of purl stitches because the back is just plain reverse stockinette. So one modification that I did is, once I joined in round, what I did, I turned my work and then I knit it inside out. To have the lace panel still like in the right direction, so with the so that the lace panel, the knit stitches, are together on the same side as the reverse stockinette. I had to then reverse the lace chart, and I didn't like rewrite the chart. I literally like just read it from left to right, and instead of doing the stitches like from the knit side, I did them the opposite way. So I did like knit 2 together through purl 2 together through the back loop and stuff like that to achieve the same look. I think it worked quite well. I'm not too sure if like all the stitches are like 100% correct. I hope so. It was a bit hard because I was doing that during the trip to Germany on the way back, so it was a bit hard to like just read the full lace chart whilst traveling, but I think it worked out quite well. You can also wear this top, so you basically can wear this lace panel either in the front or you can wear it in the back, so it's completely reversible. And the other thing what you could do as well, and that was what I had initially planned actually, is to wear it so the knit on the inside out, and that means that you have like sort of all the stitches here aren't just normal stockinette stitch, and then the lace panel is like you see the purl side of the lace panel, and I think it looks really nice, so I might actually wear it like that as well. I certainly found it quicker for me to knit all the stitches instead of purling them, and I had a bit of a more even gauge. The only thing I'm a little bit, well, that's totally my fault, is when I joined in the round, I sort of like my gauge, also my tension was a bit off. So exactly over here, there's like a few looser rounds that I can obviously see. So I don't know. I probably wear the lace panel anyways in the back, so it shouldn't really matter. But yeah, there's something that is like a tiny bit annoying myself because I can see it. I know nobody else will be able to see it, so yeah, let's I'll have a think about it, and if I'm gonna repair it maybe or not, but I know once you start like pulling on one stitch, it's really easy to like completely screw it up, so I'll have a think about it. It's probably just me knowing that, and maybe next summer I won't remember that. I knit size 3. I think I didn't really get gauge. I tried to get gauge initially, and then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go up a size, so I would have probably knit size 2, but my gauge was a bit off, and therefore I went up size 3, and it fits perfectly. I didn't make it too long because lately I quite enjoyed having like more crop tops, but I also didn't want to have it too cropped, just because it's nice to have like a few tops that are not completely cropped in your wardrobe, right? And yeah, that's the Kenosee tank by the Bluebird box. I can recommend that one if you are after a quick knit that is still like not completely boring. Like I know some people love the just plain stockinette. I'm also a big fan of just plain stockinette, but this was actually like just a little tiny bit of a challenge. Not a challenge, but just kept like my interest going. And I find these finishing edges really nice, this sort of I-cord edges, and it's got an I-cord bind off as well that worked out really well. So if you're looking for a nice summer top, go for that one. And whilst I'm up here, oops, let's get the other one. I thought that would be a good idea to hang them here. What I didn't think about is that I have to get up all the time. There we go. So, this next finish object you've seen a few times. Let me just have a sip of coffee. Yeah, so you've seen that one a few times, just like lying in the back here. I think I had it there for a few episodes. And that was because it was a secret test knit that I did for Mary Jane Mucklestone. She's quite a popular designer when it comes to colour work and like stranded knitting designs, and she knits a lot with Icelandic wool, which I absolutely love. So one evening, let's say, I think it was, I remember that moment, it was like in the middle of the night, probably like around 1 or 2 a.m. and just before bedtime I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this tester call, and I saw the pattern. I was like, oh, that looks really nice, easy, I can do that, and I've got a yarn in my stash, so I'll just sign up. And then I forgot about it as I usually do. And then a few days later, I get the email with all the details, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've completely forgot about that. But I'm really happy actually that I signed up, because this turned out to be one of my favorite cardigans. Well, yeah, I've made another one, but this one is the most worn cardigan so far. I've been wearing that for the last month, like almost every day. So unfortunately it doesn't look as new anymore as it was initially. And so this one is the Stopover cardigan by Mary Jane Mucklestone. It is a very, like, you've got a little bit of colour work on the top, so you knit it bottom up. I really like that way to knit, like that's the way I learned it initially. I really love knitting bottom up. And then you join it around, and then you've got still quite a lot of just plain stockinette before the colour work starts. And the colour work is really easy. There are no long floats really, not like hugely long floats. I know you like to see the floats, so there they are. And there's only, I think, one row, if I remember right, where you have 3 colours. So that makes it a good beginner's project if you want to try out the colour work. And then once it's completed, then you have to steek. So this is a steeked cardigan. And then you pick up the bottom bands, and yeah, it's really easy, and I think it is a really nice design. The buttons I got from it's not like a local fabric store, but I think it's like a family-owned business that is you can find in quite a few places in the south of England. It's called Closs and Hamlings, I believe. I always get the name wrong. And I went there and I found these buttons. They're really beautiful. They were quite expensive, to be honest, but I think they've matched quite well. They're metal buttons, and yeah. This is the finished cardigan. The gauge is quite big, so I used 8mm needles to get gauge. And this is something really nice about Plötulopi. So Plötulopi is an Icelandic yarn that is unspun. It's very similar to Newton. A lot of knitters at the moment knit with Newton. But basically the pattern is normally written for Letlopi, which is an iron weight yarn. It's Icelandic wool as well, and the Letlopi is a bit denser, whereas Plötulopi, as it's unspun, it's really airy. And then to get the same gauge, you basically use 2 strands of Plötulopi. And this is just so light. It's I think the total weight will be below 400 grams. I think the main color I used like a bit more than 3 plates, so each plate is 100 grams. And then like very little quantities for the contrasting colors. You can see all the information on the pattern page and on my project page. I'll link it down below if you want. Yeah. And yeah, if you want to know the colors as well, I have them all on the project page as well. I'm not going to bore you with that. But yeah, if I can recommend this one. If you're up for steeking, you can totally go for it. I use the method that is described in the pattern for the first time actually. So normally I use, so far every time I steek the cardigan, I always use my sewing machine to do that. And when I do the steek with the sewing machine, I usually just have 2 extra stitches, which is not a lot. This time I followed the pattern, and you have more steek stitches, and then you use a crochet hook to secure the stitches, and it worked really well. So normally what I would do is I would place a cotton ribbon to hide the steek, but with this method the steek sort of like folds itself inside, and I don't really think I need a cotton ribbon for that one, so I'll leave it like that for the moment. And if it doesn't unravel, which I don't think it is, because to be honest I've worn it so much, I think if it would have unraveled it would have done it already. So I leave it like that, and maybe I'll add the cotton ribbon later on if I can be asked, but I'm really happy with that. I don't know, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen quite a few pictures that I've already posted with this cardigan on. And I will probably wear it later during the year in a podcast episode, but let's be honest, it's not that cold yet that I'm wearing it now, especially now where the sun is coming up, and oh, I'm really warm. So today in the morning I got up super early. My partner had to be up, and I got up with him at I think just 3:45 o'clock, and then I thought, oh, whilst I'm up I might as well just stay up. So I worked out in the morning at like 4:30. I was trying to be as quiet as I could to not wake up the neighbors, and then I thought, whilst I'm up so early I can as well film an episode. Yeah, so these are all my finished objects, I believe. So let's head into work in progress. The first work in progress is a pattern. It's a free pattern that you can currently get on the website from Knit Pro. They're hosting a summer knit along, like a summer tea knit along, and they are so you can get the pattern. It's a summer tea by Millis Knit Designs, and I decided to make that one because I had yarn at home, or I got some yarn, and I knew that I wanted to use it soon. So I cast that on, and it grew actually really quick, and I decided, instead of making a tee, so it's supposed to have short sleeve, I'm gonna make long sleeves and just have it like an autumn jumper. So here it is. Unfortunately you won't be able to see the details, so I only realized that yesterday when I started filming, but I'll try to insert some pictures of the details, because it's got like really nice mock cables on the raglan increases. And then what I decided to do as well is that I continue with this mock cable detail on the side of the body, and I also included the detail on sort of like the underarm. So I'm gonna have this cable running all the way to the sleeve, just to add a bit of detail to the pattern. It's not really needed, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people will really see it. Knitters will know, but I think normal people won't. Never mind. I decided to make a tubular cast on. The only thing I think I will do is I will probably like unravel the ribbing and reknit it with like much smaller needles to get it a bit nicer, because at the moment it's flaring out a bit, if you can see what I mean. And what else? So I did the tubular cast soil Italian bind off as well for the body, which worked out really well, and I'm hoping that this yarn will relax a bit once knitted and will even out a bit. So once again, this is a Milburn, and funny enough, yesterday I was holding the yarn ball to the camera and said, oh yeah, that's a Milburn DK as well. And then, only then, I realized it is actually a Milburn 4-ply. And now everything makes sense. Because I was trying to get gauge for that sweater and I just could not get gauge. I was like, my gauge is off and I don't know like why this is so different. So when I ordered the Milburn DK for that top, I also ordered this one and another one that I used for the feldspar tee that I showed in my last episode. And I was sure that this was the DK as well, but it is actually 4-ply. So obviously I couldn't get gauge, but I went up a needles a size again, so I'm knitting that as size 3, and it is working out quite well. So I tried it on already, so it fits. And the colorway that I'm using is it's called charcoal. It's like a nice grey, almost it's between grey and black. I thought sometimes I need maybe something more basic in my wardrobe. You can tell I love the colors, but yeah, I went for a bit more subtle color so I could wear it a bit more often maybe. And yeah, these are all the modifications I did. I'm using 4mm needles for that, so it's a nice nice gauge actually with fingering weight yarn. Now I know that it is fingering weight yarn, everything makes sense. And if you want to knit this pattern, the pattern is really size inclusive, so it's totally worth to have a look at it. And I still got lots of yarn left, so let's see, I might use it for something else as well. The other work in progress that I've got, I haven't worked on much on it, to be honest. I literally just cast it on this week. And so this is a pattern and a yarn that I was kindly gifted by Stricken ohne Naht. The designer is called Irina Hemann, and she sent me 4 or 5 skeins of the Erica Knight studio linen, which is a 85% recycled linen and 15% linen yarn. And last time I showed you the swatch, so this time I can only show you, so actually less than a swatch now. So I just started working on the setup rows and it is growing quite well. Well, considering this was only done within like maybe 20 minutes or so. I decided to go down in needle size, even though I got gauge with the recommended needle size. I went down and I'm using 3.5mm, just because she recommends not to knit the linen yarn at a too loose gauge, and I actually preferred the fabric from the denser gauge, so from the smaller needle size. So there's loads of short rows in there and she's got her own method, so I thought I'm not going to try to be clever. That usually goes wrong when I try to do that, so I'm just going to follow her pattern and see how it goes, and that's what I'm doing. So it is looking quite interesting. It is so that the pattern is really detailed and you have to follow quite a few steps. So at the moment it's not something that is like mindless enough that I can just knit. I really have to look at the pattern, and I will keep you updated how it goes. She was so kind and gave me a discount code for you, so if you want to join in and knit the, so this one is called the Lore-Tuch. I'll insert a picture so you can have a look how the shawl looks. And she gave me a discount code so you can get it as well. I think I'll put the percentage here on how much discount you will get, and you just have to put free your sheep in the box before you check out. and then you'll be able to get the discount. And these are all my work in progress. So let's head over to the acquisitions. I'll do the acquisitions first, and then I'm gonna announce the winners. How about that? So for the Kenosee tank, so the grey one, I had to get the Holt's Coast. So I got 2 balls of the Holt's Coast in the colorway Putty, which I used already, and I've got about 20 grams left. And at the same time I ordered the colorway Charcoal again, and I got 2 balls of that, thinking I would be able to make another summer top, sort of. Now it is already the end of September, and I don't really think I'll be knitting another summer top. I might be, but this is just great yarn that I can have in my stash, ready for next summer actually, because let's be honest, it's nice to have a few nice options in the stash. And since I've got this left from the Kenosee tank, I will maybe be able to combine them because it's got quite a good contrast. So I've got a few ideas on how I could use that up. And this one I was able to get at Tribe Yarns. It's a yarn shop in London. They shipped quite fast, so this time I had the idea of getting it for a present, so I ordered it with DHL, and it was my fault actually. I got the dates wrong, and then it was bank holidays, and I forgot about bank holidays, so, and then DHL later on didn't do the best job, so I got it quite late. So at the end I just decided not to make a gift out of it, so to keep that one for myself. But yeah, Tribe Yarns is really great for, their customer service was really great this time. So I can totally recommend it, and I've ordered with them before, so yeah, if you're in the UK, that totally makes sense to get your Holt's yarn there. And since I love this Holt's yarn so much, I then was inspired to buy some more, and that was because I was watching the live from Stephen West when he was talking about his KAL. And I'm tempted to participate, even more so because one of my knitting friends said, oh please join, I'm knitting it, please join. So I thought, oh maybe, you know what, maybe I'll give it a go. So I had a look at the kits that they were selling, and then he came to talk about the Holt's Super Soft kits. And that was sort of the moment where I thought, oh yes, I could maybe join. And then I went onto the Holt's website, so the website in Denmark. And because I was going to Germany, I knew that I could order to my address in Germany. And that's what I did. So I got 4 colors, and they're supposed to be all contrasting, which they are not quite. So I might have to get one more color to just make it work. And I wanted to have like something like in an autumny tones. So the main reason why I got the yarn in Denmark is because I really wanted to have this color. It's like a really nice light brown, almost like orange toned, and it's called Gold Crest. Yeah, it's golden colored, yeah, really. And then, so this is the Super Soft base, which is 100% wool. And then to match that, I got the colorway Amber. So they have a bit of contrast, them too. And then I got the colorway Tobacco, which is like a nice darker brown. And what I really like about these yarns is that they all have like different tones. So I believe they probably dye the yarn before spinning it. That it would be my guess, because there's loads of different little tones in the yarn. And then the last color that I got is the colorway Cinnamon. And unfortunately this is the only color that is just too close to all of them. So I think I'm gonna subsidize it or get some other yarn, maybe different color that is just a bit more contrasting. So I was actually tempted to go for a greenish color, or a very light or light brown one. I'm not too sure yet, I'll have a look. And so I had to get 2 balls each, so you can see the other ones over there. And then on their website, I thought, well, I'm already ordering there, I might as well. So on their website, they've got like a special section, and there they have goodie bags. So they sell little bags with different kind of yarn. So you choose the base. So I went for the same base, so the super soft base, and I went for the colorway green, and then they will send you just a random collection of green tones, and they don't always, so they're always a bit different, and they say it's a minimum of 100 grams, but this is actually 120 grams, and it is really so affordable. All the yarn, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I got it as well, because I thought even if I'm not gonna participate at the KAL, I'm not too sure yet, but even if I wouldn't feel that bad about it, because it's really affordable and I can easily use it up for something else. I can make like a sweater out of it. I've got enough yarn there to make a sweater out of it, or I could make a nice shawl or whatever. So it's not going to be wasted, and it's totally worth the money because it's really affordable. I think one ball costs you around €3, and the quality is just amazing. And I believe it blooms really well when you wash it. So at least that's what happened when I washed the Kenosee tank. It bloomed up really nicely. So this was all the yarn that I got from Holst, and then I got some more yarn. I'm out of breath. I got some more yarn. Excuse, it's gonna be a bit loud now. I had all this prepared yesterday, and then today in the morning I didn't prepare it. Well, sorry. One of my knitting friends, it was her birthday, and I decided to get her some wool for a pattern that she wanted to knit. And then whilst ordering, I thought, you know what, I might join her. I want to knit the same one. So she wanted to knit the Soldotna top. I think it's the one by Caitlin Hunter. Yeah. And so I went on a little research what yarn you could use for it, and I found the Rosa Pomar Brusca. So it's a DK weight yarn, I believe. So 50 gram warp balls, and they come at 125 meters. Yeah, so that's DK weight yarn, and it is 50% merino and then 50% saloia, which is both are Portuguese yarns, or from sheep bred in Portugal. And it's actually quite, so it's rustic but still very nice. And what I love about their yarn, honestly, like it fills me with joy, because I find it really shows what a natural product it is you find loads of bit of straw, hay in the yarn. And it's sort of like, it became like a bit of a joke, because like I knit a lot with Icelandic wool as well, and every time I find a bit of hay, I throw it over to my partner when he sits next to me and say like, here's a bit of hay, and we just like, we find it hilarious. So it's I love that. So I'm looking forward to using that up. So I went for 4 colors. They're all a bit contrasting, not too much. So you will see once I've knitted it that the contrast should be working really well. I tried to plan that quite well. So it's like a nice green, a dark red, and then 2 natural colors. They're both not dyed, so these are the natural colors. And I've got 2 balls each of the red and the green, so I could make either the red or the green one the main color. So this is up for decision yet. I still have to decide. And unfortunately my friend, luckily, she really liked the present and she actually almost finished hers. So here I am, late to the party, and this is something that is gonna go into my queue. I'm not gonna start it just yet because I want to finish a few things first. Otherwise I just have too many work in progress, so I can't do that. I finish the other ones and then I start knitting that one. That's the plan. I'm sure I'm gonna get sidetracked. And the other 2 acquisitions are actually books or a magazine. So when I went to Germany, one of my aunties, the one that knit the pink sweater that I was wearing a few episodes ago, she loves knitting. She's a great knitter, and she always gets the inspiration from magazines. And she says she had subscribed to this magazine for ages now, for years and years and years. And it's called El Arte de Tejer, the art of knitting. And she brought me that version. So this is a magazine which is from Argentina, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's from Argentina. Yes. And it's got a lot of nice patterns. Actually, the first one that I really liked was already this from the front cover. And it's actually similar sort of style. I know I saw a picture that Inge from Knitting Traditions posted the other day, and sort of like obviously different colors, but sort of different, like similar style in yarn, and sort of with the different colors with the stripes. So I find I really like this magazine just to like read through it, and you can see there's loads of different patterns in here, like baby designs and blankets, scarves, jumpers, and yeah, it's just nice. I just like things like magazines that you can just have sitting on a coffee table and pick up and just read through. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna knit one of these, maybe. So the one that is tempting me the most is actually the one from the cover. See, I can find it. Yeah, there it is. So that's the one. I could see myself knitting that one, and it is knit at a very large gauge, so maybe I'll knit that one. Let's see. But then this one is really nice as well. Just like could knit that one with like mohair or so. I think they're using a mohair, pretty sure. So this is the first magazine, and I actually had a look online, and you can get it as well, I think as a download. So I'll link it down below if you want to have a look at it. The second book is actually, you've probably seen it a lot as well already, is the Vogue Knitting The Ultimate Stitch Dictionary. And I got that one because I've got so much yarn, and I actually want to knit something special for my partner. It's his birthday later this year, and I still haven't finished his last year's jumper. And but I'm already making plans for this year's present. I've got a lot of wool over there that I got a few episodes ago. So I'm thinking of coming up with something, because I so far didn't find a pattern that I really like. So I thought maybe I'm going to come up with it myself to make it even more personal. So I thought maybe a stitch dictionary would give me some inspiration, and maybe I find a way of using up the yarn that I have there. I've got loads of yarn there, so I could maybe even like make a fully cable jumper, so I don't know. Let's see. But this one is really great. I've seen it before, and I have the other one as well there from Vogue, and I like it a lot. So this is certainly just like something that's gonna stay with me probably forever. and move with me houses wherever I go. I'll put a link down below as well if you want to get that as well, so you can find it easily. And these are all the acquisitions. So, how would you feel if we announce the winners now? And then later on I talk about the podcast that I can recommend. So, first of all, thank you so much for participating at the KAL. A lot of you have been posting such nice tops, and I'm really happy that you liked it. It's not in a certain order that I'm gonna announce the winners, but sorry, the light is just a bit weird. So let's start with one of the winners. So Valderizzo, she entered actually with 3 tops, and so first of all, sorry, before I start saying that, so I used a random number generator to get the winners. And so Valderizzo, she entered with 3 tops, and 2 of them were actually test knits, and Post then was then the one that I draw, and she won a pattern by Herb Garden Knitwear. And I already sent her the code and she was really happy, which is great. The other winner is Emily Held Double. So I draw her from Instagram, and she entered actually with a different Instagram handle, but Emily Held Double is her new knitting handle, Instagram handle. So if you want to give her some love for the nice patterns that the nice tops that she knitted, you can totally do that. I'm sure she would be very happy about that. And she entered with the Cumulus Tee by Knitting for Olive and the Argyle Tank. I hope I say that right. And I really like the Argyle Tank, so I think that might be going on my knit list. She won a pattern by Lily from Lily Kate Makes. The third winner is Lena. She entered on, I think both on Instagram and Ravelry. I saw her post, but so I draw her from the Ravelry thread, so that was post 98. She actually entered with 2 tops as well. So she knitted the Strawberry Summer top and the Magpie Tendency. And she won the pattern for the Kenosee tank, so the one that I knitted before, by the Bluebird box. The next winner is Lina von Knits. That is lovely Becky, and Becky won my project bag that I sewed. So this one, so I'll be sending that one. And then she also won the stitch markers that were kindly sponsored by Stricken ohne Naht, Irina Hemann. So I'll send her this project bag probably later today. And then we're gonna have matching ones because I've got one there as well. And the last winner is Dunny UK. So she entered on Ravelry. So that was post 49. And she won the ball winder. I'll show you this ball winder. Sorry, I've got lots of things on top of the ball winder. There we go. So, I've got a box right there, we are. So, this is the ball winder that will be sent to Daniela. And she entered with a self-drawn, drafted pattern. So she just had some leftovers, cotton leftovers. And she called it This and That, and it's a lovely top. It's full of different colors and different kind of stitches, and so I love that she won the ball winder since she put so much work in it, since it's a self-drafted pattern. So I've contacted all the winners already, and it was so nice to see that all of them were really happy about the prices. I think that's the most amazing thing, like that they were excited about it and they were happy that they entered, and they all had very kind words to say, so I was really touched. It was actually really nice to give something back to some of you. Unfortunately, I can't like do something for everybody who has entered, but thank you so much that you've been participating and entering, and I wish I would have been a bit more interactive throughout the knit along, but unfortunately this summer was a bit crazy due to some other things. So I wasn't able to participate as much as I wanted to, but thank you so much. And a really big shout out to especially the designers and the little shops that have supported me. So big shout out to Herb Garden Knitwear, Lily, Kate, Franz, the Bluebird box, Stricken ohne Naht, and Knit Pro for the lovely prices. So I think it was totally worth to participate at the knit along. What do you think? I have got 2 podcasts that I can recommend. So the first podcast is the Bubbles and Berries podcast. So this is lovely Aude. She's French, but she lives in Scotland, and she's a translator, a tech editor, and she's also got a little business where she makes hand embroidered project bags. And that's how I found her actually. So I found her through her Instagram account, and I really loved her bags. Her bags are really lovely. She's got one with like, head over to her Instagram so you'll be able to see it, but she's got one bag with poppies on, and I really love poppies. They're sort of like, I don't know, the poppies are really present in the UK, I find. So since I've been in the UK, I always find that, I love them. So I found her through her bags, and then she recently started to film a knitting podcast, or start a knitting podcast. So maybe you want to go and support her as well, that would be nice. She's only got 1 episode up, so I guess she wants to do it like a monthly thing, so you might have to be patient for the second episode. I'm not too sure. I'll link you her podcast and her Etsy shop down below if you want to go and have a look. And she's also got a festive collaboration with a yarn dyer. Unfortunately, I don't know the yarn dyer's name, but it's basically you get like a really nice sock set, and then a festive project bag which looks absolutely lovely as well. If you're looking for maybe a nice present for yourself, go for it. So worth it. The second podcast is actually quite a big one, so I'm not going to talk about it long because you probably know it already, but if you don't, it's totally worth to go over there as well. It's the I'll Knit If I Want To by Andrea Mowry. I've been watching it lately. It's like a podcast where she answers 5 questions each week, and then sometimes she does like bonus questions. And it's just interesting to like see what designers say about certain things. So it's mainly about her designs, obviously, but she shows how she wears the shawls, and she explains like background information a bit. So totally worth a watch. I found it quite interesting. And I think that's it for this episode. I think I've been talking long enough now. And I really hope that this footage is better than yesterday's, so I can hopefully just edit it now really quickly and upload it, and you'll have it with you today. A big thank you again for everybody who participated in Knit Along. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I know a few people have subscribed lately to this podcast, which is always very much appreciated. And yeah, I think for the moment I'm not going to do a giveaway and stuff. I think I've done enough for the moment, but I'll probably like do one maybe when we hit, let's say, 5,000 subscribers. I can do another one. For the moment I just want to like relax a bit, and I hope you have some relaxing time ahead as well. It's sort of like starting to feel a bit more autumn. Autumnish, can you say that? So I'm looking forward to some cozy knitting nights, and I will hopefully be able to use up all the wool that I bought lately. So I have a bit more things to show you. So until then, I hope you are well where you are. I hope you're comfy and cozy, and just keep on knitting, and I see you in the next episode. Thank you and bye bye.